What's up, guys? So today I just want to show you how to work a little quick bewitching spell to like put a quick spell over a new lover that you're interested in. You want to you want to seduce them in a way, and you want to make them look at you differently. You want them to see you or view you as someone sexual and sensual. So you're kind of bewitching them and putting them in a trance. So the trance that you're going to put them in, it could stay long, it could be temporarily, and you could continue working other spells on them. But it's great to work in new lovers and people at work that you want to cross the line with, and or friends that you want to have relationships with, but you're not too sure because they're not really looking at you. So I'm going to show you how to work a bewitching spell to get them to look at you. This is a little pot. Is filled up with bewitching herbs. The first thing to do to bewitching someone is to get into their head. You don't want to work a spell. You don't need to work a spell. You can work with the witch. Under the witch, I have a hole under her, and I put a petition, and I put some bewitching herbs. And you're going to work with 7 stick candles. Now, each candle should have the name of the person that you're trying to draw in. And this pot right here, this will stand in as a little pot. And you're going to place some Come To Me oil. And then you're going to place, I have 2 different types of Come To Me oil. One for sex and one to draw in, the person. So C-U-M, Come To Me. And then you're going to add in some bewitching oil. It's a few herbs I have around a plate, and the witch, she loves glitter and she loves pretty things. I have a little mojo I'm going to make as well. I'm not going to do it in a video. I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to talk to you about what the bewitching is, and you can get right into it. But I do have molds of her, but I'm always sold out of them. So if you can find your witch, if you can find one, then I recommend you to get one, because you're going to need one for the spell. And the witch, listen, this bewitching spell, you're going to work it for 7 whole days. On day 1, you light the witch. These small candles only last for 3 days. So they're not to be lit the whole time. So if you're working a full spell and you're lighting it every day, yes, you can do it. But do not leave that small candle lit, because it's going to go out in 3 days. Each candle, each day, you're going to place them separately on a separate plate, and you're going to light them for her. Each candle should have the person that you want to bewitch, and, put a trance over them and make them view you differently and see you differently. Make you look sexy to them and want them. You just placing a spell on their head and over their eyes. You want to bewitch them to see differently and to feel differently. Now, a lot of you work bewitching spells, and they do not last that long, because they don't. A lot of bewitching spells that I do know of, you can work them, and then it introduces you to open up the rest of the spiritual world to work in that person. So if you want to generally work this as your first spell on a lover, you can. It's a great idea. Now, the witch, I'm going to just put bewitch oil on her. That's the only thing I'm going to put on her. Okay? So when you do start the spell, first name and last name, you need their name. I mean, if you just have a man's first name, then you don't need to be interested in him. You need to get some information on these people. Oh, I know his nickname. What good is that? Get his first name, get his last name, do some research, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, wherever which way you can get information, find it, and find his first name and his last name. And honestly, if you cannot do that, then you don't need to be working no spell on anyone, okay? And as I told you before, this spell will be for those of you that have the power to move in, okay? If you have experience working bewitching and working different types of spells to bring in lovers and draw them in, this spell is perfect for you, okay? When I bewitch people, I want them to look at their lover in a different view. I want them to not look at them like as that's their lover. I want them to look at this person as, this is my soulmate. I need this person. I bewitch you to chase after. I can bewitch you to feel obsessed. Just for a bit, temporarily. You can bewitch anyone to feel however which way you want them to feel. When you bewitch a man, you want him at your feet. You want him doing everything for you. You want him to be like a little puppy chasing you around. It's not an obsession spell. Different. He's not gonna get all crazy and heavy feelings for you. He has a little trance over him. Sometimes they last long, sometimes they don't, and it all depends on the person working it. So if I work a bewitching spell on a man, and then I decide, you know what, my client may say, I want you to work a bewitching spell on him in January, and then I may say, okay, cool. Then in a couple of months you say, you know what, I'll come to me. Now the come to me, depending on what you're working the bewitching for, you may not need to do a come to me after. But you can open it up to working different things on him. Now you can get into his head. You already have him looking at you differently. You already have him feeling different about you. And probably just a couple of weeks ago, he wasn't looking at you, thinking about you. This woman probably didn't even think you was in her type, in her league. So for those people that you really want to reel in and just make them look at you and just feel like, oh my God, I never looked at him like that. Oh my God, she's beautiful. oh my God, I like her. I think I like her. Like, you want them in a way to be a little confused about how they feel about you. You want to put that little, like, it's a little bit of magic into their ass, and you want to keep it there, and you want to help, you want to use that magic to push them along with everything else that you want to work. Because to tell you the truth, a lot of you prefer working magic to bring in your lovers. And when you work the magic to bring in your lovers, sometimes you don't want to do nothing else to him. But if he's under a bewitching spell and you worked it and it's not as strong, he's not going to stay under that bewitching spell for too long. So he may stop looking at you. He may not even have no, kind of connection to you anymore. So if you want to, you can do a bewitching spell, and then you can do a bewitching honey jar. You could continue to work that honey jar on him. I love working with the witches. I love working with the witch candles. If you want to start this off as a first spell and you have a boyfriend that's a bit stubborn, it's great for working on new lovers. If you have one already as well. So if you have a new lover and they're just not, just sometimes when you meet people, they're not as interesting in you because sometimes y'all have sex already. So it's like they're not really as interested in you anymore, but they may just be interested in the sex. And see, a lot of times like that, you get confused about what type of relationship you're in. So make sure that you're in a relationship that he doesn't really want to leave already. You understand? Because then you're not really in a relationship, okay? He's just there for other things. Or she may just be there to get certain things from you. And some people, they like it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the person in the relationship is taking from them. Just for them to have someone there, it gives them peace. But in this particular situation, you really don't want to do that because you don't really want to take a lot of your time up working a bewitching spell, and then this person is not even staying around. So I do recommend you to do a quick reading to see if, working the spell will be beneficial for you and or your partner that you're working on. I'm working the witch. I keep her tilted, and she looks at each candle. It's just one candle you're going to burn there. And you got a little bit of herbs in there as well. I love working these spells because sometimes when the men come in, they come in and it's like they're interested, and that the interest that they have for you, you want it to stay. You want it to stay long enough for you to pull in and do whatever else you need to do. Because when you do work a spell, you do have to physically do things in that relationship still. And I think sometimes you get confused because you're like, okay, I'm working a spell. He's here. Now what do? You have to act on it. You have to work on that relationship. Yes, don't leave it. Yes, the spell is helping you, but you don't want to leave it all up to the spell to do everything, because once the spell is done and the person has came into you and they're looking at you differently and they're touching you, you can work a bewitching spell for sexualness too. If you want to bewitch the men around you all to view you and be attracted to you and be sexually drawn into you, that's another great way you can do it too. There's many variations to working a bewitching spell. Now, the trance that he's under, you want to keep that long enough for you to lure him in and do whatever it is possible that you need. Now, some of you just may want one-night stands. If you're just going to want a one-night stand, then I don't think you need to work a bewitching. You could work a no strings attached spell and, or just sex with friends with benefits spell. Use the oil and work the candle for 7 days. Put the herb underneath and put his photo underneath that as well. Your photo does not need to go on the sex with friends with benefits candle. Just his name under, because this is the person, whoever you want to draw in the sex of friends and benefit. I don't know why I keep saying sex and benefits. Friends with benefits spell. You do not need to do anything but have their information for that spell. A lot of you are tying yourself into spells. Yes, you write on the petition, you want this person to come into you and to be drawn into you. But a lot of you get confused as to what to say and what to write. Okay? In this situation, you want him to be bewitched, right? You want him to come in to your life and you want him to look at you differently, different than a lot of men have been looking at you. Because if you're a woman that men are no longer looking at because of certain situations in your life, then you can bewitch a man to come in. But I do still think that if you're going to do that, then you should find some time to change whatever it is that's pushing the men away, and vice versa for some of you men. If you're going to bewitch her, you're going to draw her in and get that attention from her that she was never getting from you, then you need to start changing things. Because then you're going to find yourself constantly doing different types of spells to just hold on to the moment. And you don't want to do that. Because the thing that needs to be changed in the spell is really you. So when you do work a spell, try to change with it. So if you're a woman that has never ever had no man around you, and you just feel like, you know what, I want men to feel attracted to me, and I want men to look at me, then make yourself attractive. You can't be looking like a disgusting slob out there, you know what I'm saying, and expect men to just be like, oh my god, she's so beautiful, and you got like a 3-inch thick ass mustache on your face. Make yourself presentable, make yourself look sexy. So that's where you're gonna have to do your part and create those changes on your behalf. The spell, if you work it properly, it will bring in what you want. Remember, you're bringing in people under trances. It's like they're hypnotized in a way. I think that's the perfect word to use. Not comparing, but explaining to you, what a bewitching is. You want to hypnotize him to come in, and when you hypnotize people, it don't last for too long. It lasts long enough for you to do whatever you need to do and take the next steps. So make sure that you do it. I love using the pink candles for her to represent her pots. I've been doing these spells for like, 2 years now? About 2 years now. I like to create my own spells, and they work well for me. They work well for the people that I'm showing as well. And if you're going to work a spell like this, I recommend you to work it and give it some time to move for yourself. And as it starts to work its way into your life, listen, whatever you're asking for, make sure that you're prepared for it, because now you may work a bewitching spell for men to be attracted to you, and there may be more men than you can imagine being attracted to you. But that's what you asked for. You ask for men to be attracted to you, to be sexually drawn into you. So if men come to you and they all they want to do is have sex, you ask for that. Don't ask for what you really don't want. Ask for what you need at the moment. And if you want to bewitch a specific person, focus on that specific person. This spell is entailed for one person, the one person that you want to draw in. So please don't put like 50 men there. Don't try to mess up the spell and turn it into something that it really isn't. 7 days, you light that candle just a bit. By the time this pink candle, this pink candle sometimes could take 4 hours to burn, and sometimes it could take 30. I've seen some burn down in 10 minutes. Depending on how you have to read your candles when they burn. So depending on how the candles are burning every day, okay, you need to write that down and keep notes on it. You have to, because it'll help you to read the whole spell. When I read my spells, I'm reading the wax. I'm reading all the wax. The wax tells me a story. And every time I do a report and I send it to my clients, I tell them what I see, because that's what I'm reading. I'm reading the flame. I'm reading the smoke. I'm reading everything in that. And at the end of the disposal, you wrap everything together. Okay? And you're gonna put all of this and all of this, everything in there, everything that you used. Okay? When you're done that, everything goes into the mojo bag. Every time I burn them, they burn clean, and that's what you're looking for. You need a clean pot. If a pot don't burn clean, there's something going on. If your candles are dripping and running, there's something going on. Okay, that spell may not be for you, but continue it. Finish the spell, and always watch it. So don't just let her be on fire and shit. No, don't do that. Work her at least. If you're gonna work her for like 20 minutes a day. Depending, you can work it. You can want to work it till this goes out, because you have 7 of them. Okay, so that'll be a good idea. Now let this burn down and burn her a little bit, 20 minutes a day, as you pray to her. I do have prayers for bewitching. If I can, I'll put one up along with it, and you can pray that prayer along over with her as you light it. So each thing gets light. Start your spell on the new moon. Okay, start your spell on the new moon. Light everything. 20 minutes. Put it out. You want this to finish. These two, you let them 20 minutes. You don't want to go no more over that, because I need this pot to go into 7 days, and you need that pot to go into 7 days. And if that pot don't go into 7 days, then we got a problem. Let it last. Work your spell in increments. Don't be in a rush to work your spells. When you work 7-day spells, it's a heavy spell. You're building up power each and every day. So day one is just a regular day. You're just learning about the spell. You're learning about yourself. You can always say a personal prayer as well. Listen, your prayer can be anything that you desire in your life and you want. It doesn't have to be anything similar to anybody's. It doesn't have to be like mine. You don't have to use mine. You don't have to use my chants. You don't have to do that. You can say whatever you want to say. You can. And you write it down. If you have different things you want to say for your bewitching, say it. And you can call out the name of the lover. And you want to tell her, you want her to bewitch him. I'm gonna give you an example of what I say, and then you could work in your way. Some people like to say Psalms 23. Some of my spells, I do not say Psalms 23. I just, I have a bunch of shit I can say, so I say it. But I want you to understand that when you're working the spell, one person. Don't get caught up. Oh, can I put my baby mother and my wife under there? No, you can't. It's for one person. And if this person doesn't like you and they've told you many times they're not interested in you and they don't want you, I mean, I don't want you to get your feelings hurt. Don't work this spell. Move on to somebody else that wants you and will appreciate you. And you can work this spell and you can ask Bewitched to bring in someone that, will give you a good time and keep you happy. And if you want to, you can continue working on that person. And sometimes you don't have to continue working on that person. When you bring people sometimes to you with magic, they can stay. Depending on what you have to offer them and depending on what type of relationship that is, people will stay when you bring them and you want them to stay. You want to work the spells long enough to keep them there. In the situation where your power is not strong enough and, there's just temporary coming in, then I would recommend you not to work this spell, because then the men are going to come in, or the lovers or the new people or whatnot, and anybody that you want, and they're not going to stay too long, and you're going to be disappointed. You shouldn't be disappointed, because it's not no one's fault that you're not strong enough to push it. If you do have a friend and this friend is willing to work a spell with you, I recommend you to work it well. I recommend when you're not powerful enough, to work in groups, trusted groups, because you could be working right now with a bitch that really, she don't give a fuck about you and she don't want that man, and her intentions and everything she's praying over is bad. Okay? So someone you can really, really, really trust. Somebody that you can really say, you know what, this person will never let me down, and, they'll really be there for me. And in a time in need where you need some more power to push things, and they're willing to do it, and they have some, and they've done spells before, you've done spells together, work with them. I don't recommend you working in like huge groups and shit, because you don't want to put that much of everybody else's energy on what you want to bring in. If you can do it that way, do it. But the more you work things, the more consistent you are, the more you stay protected, and the more you learn about magic and stuff, I feel like you'll do good. I feel like you'll learn. As a beginner, everybody has to start from somewhere. If you're a beginner, work this spell. It's like a little cute spell. You know what I'm saying? You bewitch him, he come in. I mean, if you like to go out to the clubs and you want to keep all the guys in the club bewitched and all over you, do it. Why not? Bring in that energy all over you, okay? You don't want to bewitch yourself. So don't tell her to bewitch you if you're going to put a petition with your name on it. Like this, listen, when you're going to make a petition to her, you're going to tell her who you want to be bewitched, okay? You're going to tell, I want this person to be bewitched to me, okay? You can write your name right here on the pot, all right? Tell her, you write your name, write your first name, your last name, and write your date of birth. You're going to write bewitched around here, okay? And then you're going to write a petition on the candle in the back, okay? So after you write the petition on the candle in the back, that petition is for you, okay? The petition, the pot is yours. You tell her what I want. Bewitched, I want all the men to be obsessed with Jane Doe. That's you. That's you. You're going to talk about yourself in third person. You have to. I mean, nothing is wrong with that. You tell her, I want them to be obsessed with Jane Doe. I want them to want her. I want them to need her. I want every man that comes around her to be, just looking at her. Okay? Now, that spell is a general one, because then there's no one in specific, and that's cool to do. Any men or women at the gym, or somebody in your building that you're looking at. If you can do that, you write that out on that pot, and then the petition then would be not with no one's name on it, and you would write the same thing that you put on here. Okay, telling her, I want all the men to be bewitched over Jane Doe. Okay, do not write down you want Jane Doe to be bewitched. You don't want to pull yourself in there like that. Some of you write out the wrong thing. It's hard because it's so much different spells, and it's like everybody wants to write the right thing, but sometimes your head is not in it. Your mind is not in it. Some of you are forcing spells on yourself, and you need to leave them alone. You have to. You can't bewitch everybody you have. Some people are too strong mentally. Some people are protected. Some people, your energy just can't do nothing to them. So you may find times when you do spells, it's like, damn, they failing. There's many reasons why they fail. Many. I mean, I tell you all the time. But don't work a spell and, you're all depressed and all sad and you're like, bewitch, I need a man to love me and want me. No, when you bewitch a man, it's for fun. It's always for fun and happiness. You got him in a trance, and your girlfriend's all laughing, look at that, just bewitched him. Whatever you want to say, you're having a good time. But don't work a bewitched spell if you're not feeling good and you're really, hurt and depressed and you're trying. Do not work a bewitched spell to bring back your lover. No, I don't recommend it. Not at all. It's not. He's not gonna look at you like that. She's not gonna feel differently about you. Remember, you have to heal whatever is bothering her or stopping him from being with you. So bewitching him is not gonna really do anything for you. It's a cute spell. You can work it, get them under your trance. Lock them into a spell. Deeply seduced by you. Every time they see you, they want you. If you're going to put his name under her. Your name goes on top of this. If it's general, then you could put a petition for both, telling her what you want bewitched in your life or whom. So you can tell her, the guys at the gym, I wish to bewitch the men around me at the gym to be attracted and lured to me. Do not write down a bunch of men's name. No, you don't want to do that. She's just generally bewitching the men around you. You understand? Because if you put down, I want Eric and Joseph and Michael to be bewitched by me, you're not going to get all three of them to do that. Focus on one. General, you write it on both. Okay? Simple. And I hope you guys have fun doing it. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed.